Good morning. This is retired Pastor Karl Schmidt from Calvary Lutheran Church, a little Lutheran church in Amherst, New York. We welcome you to our service this morning. This is on May 4th of 2025, the third Sunday of Easter. The text that's appointed for this Sunday is from the Gospel of John, the 10th chapter, verses 11 through 16. Kind of familiar words to most people, where Jesus describes himself as the Good Shepherd. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. But he that is a hiring, and not the shepherd whose own the sheep are not, sees the wolf come and leaves the sheep and runs, and the wolf catches the sheep and scatters them. The hireling flees because he is just a hireling. He does not really care for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. And they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Here ends the Holy Gospel from the Gospel of John, the 10th chapter, verses 11 through 16. Now, let me read to you what the Gospel of John says in Greek. Ego eimi ho poimen ho kalos. Kalos is good. It's contrary to kakos. Kakos is bad. Kalos is good. Kakos is bad. So he's not the bad shepherd. He's the good shepherd. Kalos. But poimen is a shepherd. It comes from the Greek word noun poia, which refers to a field, or that which grows on a field, or that which grazes on the vegetation on a field, sheep. And it has the sense of one who protects, whether it's a farmer who protects the field, the crops of the field, or it's a shepherd of one type or another who cares for the animals, whatever they might be. And so the word principally, poimen, is protector in its essence. And this is the sense of what Jesus is telling them. I am ego eimi. I am a good shepherd, a good protector. Now, the most obvious question is, from what? Now, we know that plants, if you're a farmer, you have to protect them if they don't have moisture. You have to make sure that the soil is suitable, and so you might have to put in fertilizer or irrigate for water. You protect the plants in all sorts of ways, mostly passive. With animals, it's a little more different because there you have active, mobile aggressors, typically. And so unless the animals fall into a ditch or whatever, become tangled in some thickets, but they're predators that would seek life of the flock simply because they're hungry. And so they see the flock as food. It's not like they're maliciously hunting just for sport. Wolves, no, they're hungry. So, but in either case, fields or flocks need a protector. Jesus describes himself as, I am a good protector. And the question then is, from what? Not wolves, not drought. Well, then what? What is it that human beings should be worried about? And typically, if you just stopped on the street and said, well, what are the things you're worried about? And they go, I don't know. The economy, paying the bills, health, don't want to, whatever, crime, don't want to get mugged. There's a basic list, and it doesn't matter if you're talking to someone in the streets of Buffalo or Singapore or Hanoi. Doesn't matter. People are people, and their concerns are essentially health, food, economy. That's essentially what human beings are concerned with. Jesus several times talks about that even. But are those the things that Jesus is talking about here? Is it that he's talking about people who are worried about paying the next bill or buying the next meal for their family? No, that's not it. Is he concerned about thievery or the someone who is a crooked politician and harms the people that they are called and given to protect? No, not even some scumbag politician. Well, what is Jesus protecting us from? What is it that we would have to be worried about? And people would say, oh, well, because we're not perfect. That's, super trite. Because we're not perfect. We do bad things. Really? That would be a worry? If they were actually worried about it, which I don't think many people are. Because, I don't know, many of the leaders in our country brag about being corrupt, breaking the law. Some of them even brag about not following judges' rules and that they're above rules, which is really evil, because that flies against every principle that our country, at least, is based upon. And yet there's plenty of them that brag about it, not one in particular. In fact, there's a lot of Americans that brag about that they look up to that. They want someone a leader who is corrupt and filthy and dirty and rotten and treats other people like trash. They think that's a great thing. They think that's an accomplishment. Is that what Jesus is protecting us from? Scumbag politicians? No, that's not it. It's not something we have to, sure, you got to have some worries about, especially if you live under some filthy dictator. What is he protecting us from? Why does he say he's a good protector? Well, there must be something that we can't do anything about for ourselves. Is the fact that someone cheats their fellow human being something you can't do anything about? Well, I don't think so. I think you could go make things right again. If you owe someone a bill, go pay it. That's real simple. It's not hard. If it's an economic issue between two people, handle it. It's not complicated. It's just you take currency and hand it to the other person. The other person says thank you and hands you a receipt. It's not super complex. Even interpersonal relationships can be mended in the same sort of fashion. You talk to them and work something out. And that is doable. We could fix stuff like that. That's not what we have to worry about with either. Well, people say, well, God might be angry with me about whatever. Huh? God might be angry with us? That might be true. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Who is this God? And people don't agree on that. Not at all. They come up with all sorts. Some Native Americans say, well, this tree has some sort of divine presence, or that there's a divine presence in nature itself. And communing out with nature, you feel the divine presence and essence about you, and all is well, and like you're Thoreau down by the lake. Pattering on about nonsense. Just as some duck swimming blissfully across the lake is grabbed by a gar fish, dragged under and eaten. Or a big snapping turtle grabs a nice gentle fish and gobbles them up. Even the lake is a place of death and blood. That's how animals there survive. Big fish eat little fish. But what is it then if God is angry with us, but no one can agree on who this God is? And then you're assuming God is bad. He's just a mean, angry God. He's not a helper. You see where that thinking leads? Even some guy named Martin Luther, some 500 years ago in Germany, he was a professor at a university back then, and he taught religion. He worked in the ancient languages and the scriptures, but he didn't have a clear picture of God. In fact, he was a member of the Catholic Church, highly esteemed, a doctor of philosophy and theology in Wittenberg. He really had no idea who God was. He pictured God as angry, just an angry being who really had it in for people. And no matter what you did, you were bad. And this angry God was going to kick you both when you're up and when you're down. He just couldn't get enough of kicking us. That was how Martin Luther thought of God. And he wrote about it. If today he was a blogger, he would be a blogger. He'd be constantly blogging because he wrote and wrote and wrote. He just couldn't get enough of writing. He just loved writing. But he wrote down these things so we have some idea of how he felt in his day. And so if he's right, back then, at that earlier time in his life, then God is nothing but this big, angry bully who likes kicking people. And if that's where it ends, well, good luck, because how could you defend yourself against an angry God? You can't find him. You can't see him. He's only going to deal with you when you're dead directly, and indirectly while you're alive, and there's not a bloody thing you can do about it, except complain and moan. Beyond that, you've got no recourse. What are you going to do? Go on the roof of your house or building and put your fist in the sky and go, "You punk! Who gives you the right? God? Who do you think you are? You're just a scumbag who got bigger than us and can get away with it. So you like picking on us. We didn't do anything that bad to offend you, so at least that's what I would say. That would be my point of view. Is that what Jesus is protecting us from? Well, if God is just this big angry being, and Jesus is just some guy like Buddha or Nietzsche, philosopher, or Kierkegaard, an existentialist philosopher, or any of these other people who can construct theological or philosophical constructs of life and existence. If that's all Jesus was, and tried to give a decent answer to whatever divine being there was, he's still useless in my book. I've studied Nietzsche and Kierkegaard, and, I consider them pretty useless. I think probably Nietzsche was drinking too much, and Kierkegaard just needed to go fishing, drink some beer. Where one was drinking too much, I think the other didn't drink enough. Both their lives would have been better if Nietzsche would have cut back. If Kierkegaard would just put his feet off the side of a boat with a fishing pole. Existentialist. They offered nothing. They offered nothing except they got paid. So what was Jesus? Why is he protecting us? And who? Well, if it's just from an angry God and he's just there as some Buddha philosopher, still useless as far as I'm concerned. I don't need that kind of junk. Why would I want that? I have a master's in philosophy. Let me tell you, there's not one of them that I give you a time of day. Kantian ethics. Good for all people in all times and every place. Ooh, now we know what the good is. Really? Does it help anything? No. Does anyone follow it? No. It's just a load of garbage? Yeah. But people actually write this stuff and study this crap. Garbage. What is Jesus protecting us from? This is the tough answer. He's protecting us from his dad, who is the same one who sent him to protect us. Hey, Bert. And this is hey there. How you doing? This is the part that is curious, that it makes Christianity, as far as I'm concerned, the deepest mystery. If Christianity was a simple formula that do this, God will like you and forgive you. Well, that's A, that's stupid. And B, if that's all that God is, I'd rather just go play video games. He's not that interesting. But there's something considerably different about God. It's that he is angry with us, and we do need to be protected from him. But at the same time, he knows that we can't do jack about it. Nothing. It'd be like trying to pick up, on a construction site, you got a block that weighs 6 tons. So some construction walks over, ooh, be big, grabs it. No, he's just going to put his back out and have to go be taken away in an ambulance. There's no human being that picks up 6 tons. We just can't do it. Try 30 tons. There's a kick. I'd be picking up a building. Good luck with that when it falls on you. No, there's some things we just cannot do. And God knows that. And so he sent his son as one of us to do what none of us could think of doing, which is to placate the Father. I mean, what would you offer God for his anger against you, which I don't even understand? I mean, okay, I know how much I weigh. I know how tall I am because I've been to the doctor a bunch of times recently. And so, yeah, okay. And I'm already 66, so how much longer have I got to live? Well, I'm in the generation that the previous 2 generations nuked in the United States. They didn't give us iodine pills. They just nuked the hell out of us for kicks and giggles. It wasn't until Kodak company, people that made cameras, complained. So my generation doesn't live very long. We're sicker than all previous generations, and we die younger. Because our forefathers, the creeps, nuked us. It was radioactive cesium in our little red, white milk boxes at grade school. So we're dying younger and sicker. Thanks, jerks. But God knows that we're useless to defend ourselves against him. So he sent his son to be one of us, mortal in every way, and yet the Son of God. And who designed this? The same one who wants to kill you, who will kill you, who is all set to kill you. He decided, I'm changing my mind. It's like asking your wife, where do we put the couch? Where do you want me to put the TV? Well, that looks good. 2 days later, I made some sketches how we should do the living room. Could you change it to this? Oh yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. 2 days later, the sun shines on the TV during that part of the day. We can't use it there. Oh, okay. So where do you want it? Over there now. Oh, like where I had it to begin with. Yeah, that was a good spot. Yeah. What we're going to say to the Father about our condition. Because it's not the wrong that you've done. We have in the confession of sins at the beginning of service, we've sinned against you with thought, word, and deed. You know who that's written for? Children. Hopefully by the time you're an adult, you're past that. It's like the little laundry list of what you did right and wrong. That's nothing to do with your actual condition, why God hates you. I don't know why God hates us. I don't know what sin is. I know a lot of human beings act like trash toward each other, and then different degrees of trash. And people go, I don't treat people like trash. All you have to do is ask people closest to you. You want an actual, more honest answer? Look in the mirror. And then tell yourself the truth. But you're still not going to find the right answer. Why does God the Father hate me so much that he will kill me forever? Throw me away like trash. That's his plan. That is literally the doom we all face. And so at the same time, however, he decided to send his son to be one of us, to represent all of us, and die for us instead of us. And he was going to rain down the same hell meant for me on his son, Jesus. Because there's no J in Greek or Hebrew. Jesus, that's his name. His last name is not Christos. That simply is for the Hebrew Mashiach, which means anointed. That's not his last name. He would have been son of his father's name. Son of Joseph. The father sent him and was going to pound the hell out of him to death instead of me. My doom on him. Why? I don't know. Why was that the only answer to what I am? I don't know, but whatever I am must be pretty hellaciously bad. If that's the only solution. You know, if you go to the doctor and they say your toe is bad, so let's cut off your leg. What? Okay, just cut off the toe? Well, yeah, we could do that. Or we could just take off your whole leg. Well, just take the toe, please. Okay. The remedy shows the malady. If the only remedy is the father slaughters his son to death, the hell do you think the malady was? He didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong in him. He was immaculately born of the Holy Spirit in Mary. He inherited no sin. We have, whatever that is. And then the Father carried it out. That's what the cross is. And the Father pounded him to death. All of his wrath, to the point where Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me? That's the son crying out to his father. And the father turns around, and there's nothing but silence, crickets. And the hate pours out. And then the son dies. That's what he says here in this text. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. And the word to give here is tethemi, to lay something down. Just take something of yours and just lay it on the ground. There's different words in Greek for to give. This one just means to set it down. Why? Because his father asked him to. Was it Jesus' idea? No. Jesus said, talk to his dad. Got any other plans? No. Oh, fine. You designed this. Let's go. So that's why when he says the shepherd, it comes from the root word to protect, whether a farmer or a herder of animals. To protect. The Father sent him to protect you and all the world from what we can't do a thing about. And that's been done. Because he said it's finished. So, should we be anxious about anything? No. What you got left to worry about? Well, I might get sick and die. So what? You get to go back up on your feet and live forever. Well, I don't know if God is angry with me. He's not. He loves you, just like his son. Well, what will I do in heaven? I don't know. It's yours. You're not a visitor. You own it. And life eternal is yours. So that's the sermon here for this third Sunday after Easter, May 4th, 2025. And that